Good afternoon and welcome to the Law is Stranger Than Fiction blog. I'm one of your hosts, Steven Bergman.
And I'm your other host, Barry.Sure.
We are shareholders of the firm of Richards Brandt Miller Nelson, and we're here today to talk about dueling. So we're not talking about Hamilton and Burr. We're not going out to the old Weehawken dueling grounds in New Jersey. And we're definitely not talking about a sword fight. And I definitely want to say we're not talking about the banjos from the film Deliverance. So, but we do want to talk about dueling because, surprisingly,
in Utah, some forms of dueling are illegal.
So when you say some forms, what do you mean?
I mean, as long as weapons aren't involved and the participants are both consenting to duel, there's no law that prevents consensual altercations in the state of Utah.
All right, when you say consensual altercation, what does that mean?
That essentially means mutual combat.
Mutual combat. So if you and I are in a bar and you insult my girlfriend or I insult your wife and we say, let's take it outside, is that mutual combat?
As long as there are no weapons involved, it is mutual
so
combat.
I can't break off that beer bottle and have that little sharp edge to use then?
That's correct.
Okay. So when you say it's consensual, what do you mean by that?
I mean, you have to give consent, either verbally, in writing, or by your actions.
Okay, well, so I get out my cell phone and say, hi, Barry, do you consent to fight me?
That would work.
Okay. Or do I have to, drop a contract and have you sign it?
That might be a little more technical than required, but if that fits the circumstances, sure.
Okay. What about, can you claim that it was implied?
Sure.
And what situation would that be?
That would be that I say, let's take it outside, and you follow me outside.
Okay. So now, talking about implied consent, there's actually an amusing story. An actor was charged with homicide in a fight with a homeless person and got out of it by claiming mutual consent. I don't know if you were aware of that.
I was not.
Okay. And so, Utah statute, where's that statute found?
That is found at 765104.
Okay, and so exactly what does the statute say?
The statute says that in any prosecution for criminal homicide or assault, it's no defense to the prosecution that the defendant was a party to any duel, mutual combat, or other consensual altercation if during the course of the duel, combat, or altercation, any dangerous weapon was used, or if the defendant was engaged in an ultimate fighting match as defined under the law.
Okay, so the key is getting consent. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, so as long as I and whoever I'm fighting with, if there's consent and there's no weapons involved, then it's not illegal to engage in that fight.
You may be violating some other law, but Utah has no law against consensual altercation.
We're talking about dueling today, so I'm not worried about any other law. So, okay, well, that's great. So here's the reality. Hopefully you don't find yourself in situations where you're challenging people to fights and having to use the protection of this statute. But there may be other situations in the course of business or the course of everyday life where you need to get consent from somebody, or you need their permission or authorization to act. And in those situations, you want to make sure that consent or that authorization is valid. And one of the ways to do it, get a video recording of it, put it in writing, or have other circumstances to make it look like they agreed. Anything further?
Nope, that'll take care of it.
All right, great.